Hello there, welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to start with a video I suggested I wouldn't be making when I was talking last week. I kind of miscalculated the Bresson movies I still had to do. You know, for some reason, because I was just doing them in my head, I never wrote anything down, which meant I forgot that I still hadn't done Trial of Joan of Arc. For some reason I thought I'd done it and I'd only a few left to do from the end period. It turns out no, I hadn't actually done Trial of Joan of Arc. So here it is. So this will be the last one for a couple of weeks, then I'll come back probably in July and do the last lot of Bresson movies. Sorry about that. I can only suggest I'm a moron, really. But I'm kind of glad I did that because it's a wonderful film. It's also an hour long. Which when you see tomorrow's video, you know why having an hour long film was suddenly like such a relief. But I'll get to that. Okay, The Trial of Joan of Arc is a Bresson film from the early 1960s. It's based on testimonies from the trial itself, and it's based on like the testimony of what was written down in the trial and from the prosecution side from later on. So basically the trial covers the period from when she was caught, when she was put on trial and until she was burnt at the stake. That's the only part that's interesting. It doesn't show you Joan of Arc's life before that. It doesn't show her pledge to the king, her rising of the Catholic troops to go against the English. None of that is of interest to Robert Bresson. Just none of it. It's all about a girl who's a virgin who has voices in her head and she thinks God's talking to her. That's the film, and it's about the religious leaders who are trying to prosecute her to say, no, this is heresy, this is not right, you are suggesting God to upon yourself for political means to destroy us, this is all a scam. And basically their view is she has to die. She has to either recant or she dies. That's it. There's no way around it. This is a big upset to their political dominance in the area. All their political ties, all their machinations to how to keep the society working. She's a big upset. Plus she's coming from a religious doctrine that's much more purist and less worldly than they are. From their point of view, it is she just has to go. I mean, this is a society that is still very Catholic, very church focused. They will attack people for heresy against their faith. Like, this is before the Enlightenment. This is when people still can't, printing presses haven't really been invented. Like, people just note things down. Most people can't read. So they do what they're told by the leaders, the religious leaders. They do not want their authority to be undermined by Joan and her religious fervour that's being taught to by God. So the whole film is really about the fight between Joan of Arc versus these religious leaders. So again, it's like a lot of things you actually find out. I mean, there's a lot of wars between different religions like Christianity and Islam in the past, like Crusades and things. But there's also wars within religions. I mean, if you look at this, Muslim has their own like separate religions within it. Christianity is Catholics and Protestants. You know, every religion has a lot of religions have a split at some point where two different interpretations of religion start fighting each other. This is before that happened, but it's the start of the seeds of what would be the Protestant faith, and it was the Reformation of the Church. These are kind of developing, but Joan's like one of the figures they're having to stop in hopes that these kind of things won't happen. Like, if we burn it out now, won't have any problems. So that's the kind of issue. But because it's Bresson, he doesn't take the epic view of, oh, this is a, you know, let's show the battles, let's show this, let's show they have been a heroic figure. This is not a Luc Besson movie. You know, this is a Bresson movie. This is a legitimate face. These are faces with people talking to each other. And it's been Joan of Arc saying, no, I will not submit to your interpretation of the faith. I am loyal to the king. I'm not loyal to the English and their view of the religion. I've been talked to by God. God's given me instructions of how to act. I will follow God. And the really good thing about Bresson is if you're religious, you can watch this and see this as a sign of someone with faith. And if, like me, you're not religious, you can watch this and see this as a sign of someone who's mad. But you can still be sympathetic, still have an interesting look at religion and how religion affects people. I mean, even though the English are viewed as villains, that they want her either dead or to reform it into their way of thinking, or basically can't have what she said about being talked to by God. They do have a point of view that it's not completely invalid. How they carry it out is invalid. They do dirty tricks, but to them, she's a threat. She raised an army against them. It's like, she has to go for them. But what Bresson focuses on is her belief. What's her belief? What does it say about her? Why is she getting a lot of people on her side? And the thing is, it's because she talks simply about it. She's a young woman. She doesn't seem to be wanting power. She wants her religion to be protected against people she sees as corrupting it. That's it. That's all she's looking for. She thinks she's talking to God. She thinks angels are coming down and talking to her and giving her instructions and telling her to be honest, but don't tell them everything. Which she even says to the court, so that really puts her back up. There's all these elements in there of like religious belief and the different types of religious belief. We also get the feeling of, if you're a non-believer, how religious belief pushes someone into something that may be good or may be bad. I mean, from like a perspective of the 21st century, looking at what she's fighting for, I don't think what she was fighting for would have had a healthy outcome for society generally. You know, I'm not sure it was, you know, I'm not a big fan of keeping pure to books type of religious doctrine. I think that's kind of a bad path for humanity. So even though I'm not particularly sympathetic towards her cause, the way it's shown, the way someone can believe in something so much, the way it's to them is something pure and something graceful, it's fascinating. It really is, because it's showing a sign of what a human being can be, what a human being is capable of if they believe something so intently. It also shows you how faith can be interpreted in different ways, how faith is fragile, how people can see faith as either a strength or something that's horrifying. And you can still be the same faith as somebody else who's accusing you of something, because your view of the faith is different from their view of the faith, and it's just different interpretations. So it becomes a really interesting look at faith and look at how people can interpret it, and how, like, because I mean, in a lot of ways Joan of Arc is a very kind of a big important figure in society, but it's more of an image than who the person was. I mean, it's the same way Guy Fawkes is a big image in British society, even though he was a religious maniac who wanted to bring the country back hundreds of years. Really, he was... It wouldn't have been good news if he had actually succeeded. It would have been bad for everybody. but the idea of him is more important than what his beliefs were nowadays. Same with Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is a sign of purity, a young woman against the system. The reality is it's much more complicated, and Bresson shows this. She's a complicated figure. She's not perfect. She's very headstrong. And she has the whole idea of faith as her protector. And what happens to her is horrific. I mean, because when Bresson shoots it, he is focused completely on her struggle to try and show these men what it is that's driving her, but also she knows it's a doomed effort because their minds are closed. They just want one thing from her and she's not going to give it to them. And then at some point she wavers, and then she returns to her. She wavers in the process of her dress and things, and dressed like a woman and being in all parts of society, and she just rebels against that, so she doesn't give up her life and rebel against her beliefs. Which you see in modern day as well, with religion. Like, this is my religious beliefs, this blood's close, you cannot make me change out of this. That happens even now. People have a strong sense of their identity within religion. And this film just shows it pretty much from it's a neutral camera, but using the performance to give you an idea of the fervour of her belief, even though she's not like advocating for anything horrible to people. She just wants to be to her view, she wants God to be appreciated the way God should be appreciated. You know, that's her point of view. So again, I think you can see with me, it's like, I think it's a very moving film, but it's a moving film with someone who I probably would disagree with completely in real life. So it's quite interesting to watch. You see how your sympathies can go towards someone you might not agree with. And that's where the complexity of humanity comes in, with Bresson, who makes a lot of films about faith and religion, is showing it in detail, but he's also, because he's such a great director, such a pure director, he does not make propaganda. It's like, you can believe her or not believe her, it's your choice. You can interpret what she says in your own way. You can either see her as someone of pure faith or someone who's deluded. But the way it's shown it's a great illustration of faith. The way she talks about her faith, the way she talks about her view of God, her view of how the angels come down to talk to her, and her view is how she's doing this for people. She doesn't care about their point of view, she just wants to ensure her faith is kept alive. Which is what we hear a lot of in religion. A lot of people fear that their faith is being diluted by the modern world. So it's a really interesting film, in which we can get torn between respect for someone's faith, but also a feeling that this will not be good for society if it spreads to be enforced on everybody, you know. Which I think is why I'm much more of a supporter of everyone's their own right to have their own point of view, but you can't force it on everyone else. And France of that era, it was much more protect your faith against the others type of thing. So it's a very complicated film. The end's very haunting, this when you see how much she has to pay for her faith, which has she's burned at the stake, and it doesn't skimp on, it doesn't show you tons of details, but it shows you enough, it makes you care for Joan enough, so when it happens it is very horrifying. It's like, this is completely out of whack, this should never happen. It shows how barbaric and how awful humanity was at the time. And humanity can still be horrible, and even now, because some of these practices still go on. Less in a civilised world, but they still happen. So it's a very complicated, unique film. I'm not sure much more I can say about this film. I think it's a film that has to be experienced. It's only 61 minutes long. I think you can find it in DVD. I'm not sure with Blu-ray. It's wonderful. It really should have a premium release. It's just a beautiful film. And I urge everyone to try and check it, just find it and watch it. It's a beautiful, beautiful film of faith. It's one of the great films about religion. And it doesn't, and it's what's so good, you don't have to be religious to find a lot of fascination in it. Because there's a lot there. It's not just about believe in God, it's more about what belief is to the person and to society. And it's not didactic at all, but any of these things, it's about everyone is told through the faces, through what they say, but no one's trying to speak right to you. It's just about, because Bresson's such an artist, it's in the context of the scene, it's in the way the camera's set up, it's in the way people interact. and he's not telling you a ton of stuff to tell you this is what it means. It's like, he respects your intelligence to understand what it means for yourself and interpret it your own way. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now we have a little break from Bresson, but I'm going to be back in July with more Bresson. So there's the 4 left I haven't done, so I'll do them in July. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow talking about a 4.5 hour film about the Holocaust. Okay, right, bye.